Hmm. Apex Predator.
And we are live.
All right,
Episode
here we
4,
are.
Worst Fans Radio.
Yeah, three got lost, which was probably for the best because I think almost immediately after we put a wrap on it, it would have been
We
useless.
dated ourselves very quickly, completely
Yeah.
unintentionally.
You can't win them all. If all the episodes to get lost to time, that's probably a good one.
So I'll just say right off the bat, I've got this USA Panama game on. Halftime, 3-0. USA wins this. They just have to not lose to Costa Rica by like a lot of goals, and they're in the World Cup.
Oh man, and this would be what? They only missed it once the last time recently. They were in it all before that. It
And
was just last World Cup.
but the big news of the weekend in terms of the World Cup, I don't know if you saw this. No,
I have not.
no Italy.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah.
big. I mean, I don't know enough about this. You're my go-to guy, so you tell me, is that as shocking as it feels to me, or is that something that was kind of seen coming in a way?
I think it's shocking, but it's also the second time in a row they've missed.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, pretty crazy. It is. It is. With apologies to our Italian audience,
Italian, the Italian side of our fan base.
it
It's
is
probably
very
three of you.
funny. Oh, it's 4-0. I'm sorry, I said 3-0.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Hey, USA, baby.
Oh yeah. Um.
Didn't Italy win it one of the two or three times prior to them missing it the last two? Haven't they
Yeah, they
won one of
won
the last
in.
five?
I'm gonna say 2006,
Quite the fall from grace.
and they just won
Huh.
the Euros too. So you would think
That's what it was. It was the Euros was recently, right?
that
That's what
was
they
last
won?
summer. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you would think
Yep.
things were good, but
So wait, hold on. They missed the World Cup, won the Euros, and now missed the World Cup again?
yes,
That's a strange set of
it is
events.
unbelievably bizarre.
Wow. I mean, I assume it had to have been some sort of bad luck or someone dropped the ball or just poor play. It doesn't usually don't go from worst to first back to worst that fast.
Yeah, I mean it was a tough. I think they ended up they needed to win and they drew to North Macedonia, but they shouldn't have even been in that position, man. Like they're
Yeah, I
supposed to
mean,
be a
were they in a group of
powerhouse.
death? Like the equivalent
Well,
of a group of death? Or how does this work? I don't
look,
really pay
it
attention to qualifiers.
it's obviously it's going to be tougher to qualify out of Europe than it is
Well,
out of
fair.
North America,
Fair.
just because of the quality. But still, it's Italy, man.
What are you saying about MLS soccer?
Well, I think you know what I'm saying about MLS soccer, and
I know exactly what you're
I
saying. I
think
just wanted it on
I think
record.
people who follow us on Twitter know exactly how I feel about MLS soccer.
I think anyone who follows any sort of soccer and or football, however you call it, knows exactly what MLS soccer is all about.
Yeah, and you know what? There's people who love it for that, and I think that's cool too.
Live sports are fun, man.
Yeah.
Live sports are fun.
I'm a little raspy tonight, I can tell already, so I'm going to apologize in advance.
Oh, why's that? What have you been screaming?
I've not been screaming, but I think it's the temperature changes, but I did have a quite a long
Mm-hmm.
weekend here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tell me about it. What do you
I
got?
went to
What do
see
you got?
Glassjaw on Thursday night over at the Warsaw in Brooklyn. It was a wonderful
Oh,
show.
that place. Yeah, I haven't been there yet. I was supposed to go April of 2020 and see Bronson, Action Bronson, but obviously pandemic that didn't happen. So
It is a
how's the
perfect
venue?
venue. Perfect venue to see Action Bronson. But I like it. It's like an old Polish. They must do like weddings and stuff there. But the encore was so good that I bought a ticket for the next night in Huntington,
I love that.
like during the encore. I was like, I'm
That's
going to
awesome.
see this.
Mhm.
So then I went.
I've been there.
I went Saturday to the Paramount in Huntington. The sound was so much better than the Warsaw, I gotta say. I think I've underestimated the Paramount as a venue. It's nice. It sounds good. Easy to
Never
park
been.
over there. Yeah. And then that show was so good that I bought a ticket after that show for last night, which was essentially the same show I saw Thursday in Brooklyn, but with better sound and better views. And man, I've been listening to this band
Where was
since
that?
2002. This like iteration of them is the best they've ever sounded. It was
Wow.
so good, man.
Okay.
Just a powerhouse of a band.
I wonder how many hours of practice that took.
I don't know. I mean, they're just tight. They have a drummer. They've had a drummer, a new drummer since about 2017, who's just
Okay.
unbelievable. And they've got a. I feel like they've had a different bass player almost every time I've seen them, almost like Spinal Tap esque. And and he was good too, man. They killed it. And it's crazy because the albums that they were playing for these anniversary shows uh, were back when they had two guitar players. But they just have the one
Ah,
guy now. He's the guy that writes all the songs. And it sounds so full and so good. They just, I don't know, they've got the arrangements down pat. It's so nice. So I had a
love
great
it.
little
Love to
weekend
see it.
of seeing some, whatever you would call them, kind of the alt metal or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Well, where
Um,
was the third show?
third show was also at Paramount.
Ah, okay. So you went
Yeah.
to cool, cool, cool.
And
Yep.
they did the show that I saw Friday night, the first Paramount show. They did, I guess, Wednesday in Greenpoint as well, but I didn't go to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's cool. I like when it's at least a couple songs different or something switches up, even if it's just the order. So it's not the same
yeah.
show every
So they
night.
were doing like they were these are album shows, so it's
Oh,
like
okay, okay, okay.
yeah, but it was cool.
Yep.
So they did the one. So I saw the second album the first night, then the first album the second night, and then the second album again the third night. But the encore for the first album shows was one of their EPs. That's great, like the full
Hmm.
EP after the full album. And then the encore for the second night was their newest album that came out in I guess 2017 or 18. They did
Okay.
like the first half of that album and then the last song of that album.
Okay.
So just a monstrous set.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
cool.
That
And
sounds great.
but like let's stick with music here for a second because I don't know if you know about this, and I think
Oh, wow. You gonna drop something
I'm
else
gonna
on me?
drop
Let's do
something
it.
on
I'm
you.
ready.
You might have
I'm
gotten the same
ready.
email I got, but I saw this actually before I got the email. Do you know who Dave Knudsen is?
I think so. The name sounds
So
familiar.
Dave Knudsen was the guitar player, not the singer in Minus the Bear, the other guitar player, the crazy good one.
Yes.
So he is
Okay.
doing
Yes.
a solo album produced by and featuring a guy named Sam Bell, who's like a
Okay.
big kind of pop rock producer. The album that I think you'll know him best for is the Modern Glitch, the Wombats Modern Glitch he produced.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I love it.
He
I'm
also
in.
produced, I think, the last one or two Minus the Bear albums.
I'm in.
And he's released two songs from it so far. So the album is called "The Only Thing You Have to Change Is Everything." I'm gonna
Okay.
the
Okay.
uh, the first single he released is called "Jealous Time Steals," and on vocals it features Jake, the singer of Minus the Bear.
Awesome.
And the second song features the aforementioned Sam Bell doing some singing as well. And it's cool. It's kind of like a really well put together, kind of spacey, rocky pop music.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
If you like the two albums we were just talking about that the dude produced, you might dig this.
Speaking of Minus the Bear,
Yes.
I waited too long, and now I was on Discogs a few weeks ago. I wanted to get Omni on vinyl, and it was $35 all in with shipping. Now it's 67.
Oh wow.
Yep. All right, well, we gotta hope for the 15-year reissue in 2025.
I have got the we're back underway for the second half of USA Panama here, and in our tradition of news breaking,
Oh
while
no,
we're
what happened?
no nothing yet, but I'm just saying if like a collapse happens here, if they blow this, I think that counts.
Oh yeah, I mean if they blow a 4 goal lead, 100%, yeah.
You were joking earlier that Conforto is going to sign during this,
Yes,
which
that was.
would be great, and it was so potentially prescient that I'm actually going to look up and just make sure he didn't already.
Yeah, I have the alerts on. I'm
Oh,
holding the
good, good.
phone. I'm looking at it. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm also now looking for vinyl on Minus the Bears website because we got me talking about it.
Oh, nice. All right,
And they
great
don't
band.
have anything. No,
So you know what I watched
bummer.
today?
Go on.
I watched a Mets spring training game.
Ah, yes, yes, that's right.
So we had
So today must have been the most amazing day that you had as a Mets fan in a long time.
it,
Tell us why. Tell us why.
well, it would have been more amazing if the Islanders weren't simultaneously blowing a game against the Lightning, but
No, no, no. We're talking as a Mets
we are
fan.
talking as a Mets fan.
Talking as a Mets fan.
So the first three innings was Jake. The last six innings was Max. And as if that wasn't enough, I believe it was also Starling Marte's first game actually playing. And
Mets fan, and that excites me.
and Lindor hit a home run from either side of the plate. Marte had a
Man.
double and then a very smart base running move to score from second on like a bloop single. I gotta say, man, this Mets lineup in its full
Hmm.
form. I hate to say it's
If Lindor.
relentless, but on a good night, it's relentless. You know what I mean?
Just think if Lindor rediscovers even half or more of his form, you know?
Exactly. Bad
Only,
season, and he
oh
still hit
man.
20 home runs last year.
Well, that was never his game, right?
I mean, he's got the pop, but
Yeah.
no, he's definitely more than that. Man,
Yeah.
and you know
I
what?
was
With
watching.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I was
No,
just gonna
please.
say the pressure's a little more off him this year. You know, they kind of built the team up around him. I think it'll work
On
out nice.
paper, that team looks pretty good. I mean, I don't know, other than injuries, what could derail that team. It's deep. It's got a good lineup. It's got a good pitching staff. I believe in Buck Showalter. However, you know, he's only ever had a team win after he left. So how does that make you feel?
I think that's probably more coincidental than anything.
I just think that it's more of he's a good manager, but he was never around. He was always brought in to take a team there or put them in a position to get there, but he's never allowed to stay long enough to actually get there. But what he builds is what gets there. If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Lays the foundation.
I think this is a more of a veteran squad than he's ever had before.
Also
He
true.
got in on like the ground floor of those, like, you want to call them like the baby bombers or whatever. The kind of early the mid 90s. You know, how old was
The
Jeter?
dynasty team.
How old was Jeter at
Well,
that
Buck was the
point?
manager in '95, and
Yeah,
Jeter wasn't even a
he wasn't even up
full-time
yet.
player if he even played that much.
Yeah.
I mean, that '95, '96, even the middle infield was Tony Duncan and Mariano Duncan and Tony Fernandez. I
Yes.
combined them. So I think he played late in the season in the playoffs, but I don't think
Yeah.
he was even a full-time player until '96
I guess basically what I'm saying
or
is
'97.
this
'97,
team is
whatever.
is kind of built to win now.
Yep,
Although
you're right.
as we've discussed, they're probably still not better than the Braves, but they could have a
That's
better season
crazy.
than the Braves. And I think if this team underperforms, it won't be on Buck.
They don't need to have a better season than the Braves. They just need to hope that another team beats the Braves, and then they go through and beat the Dodgers because those are who it's going to be realistically, right? I mean,
Absolutely. You would think, yeah.
speaking of the Dodgers,
Yeah.
what in the hell, Cody Bellinger? All of a sudden, he's worse than his dad, who, as a Yankee fan, you'll know was not a very good hitter. But what?
Do you think this is a rough spring, or do you think this is just how it is now?
How can you say? How can I say it's a rough spring when he's been this bad at major league level for? Hasn't it been like a season and a half?
It's
Wasn't it last year and the shortened season?
it's very worrying.
I mean,
Let me look up that shortened season while you're
I'm
talking.
pretty sure he's been bad for long enough now where if he's still bad right now, there's no hope unless you're just one of those eternally optimistic people. Not saying he's a lost cause, but I don't see how if I were a Dodgers fan, could have hope at this point.
Yeah, this is not great.
It's not good. Yeah, I don't know. You're looking at it, and I can tell it's not good.
2020 and 2021, he had pretty much the same amount of hits despite playing in.
Wait, he had the same amount of hits in 60 games as he did in a 162 game season?
Well, he only played 95, but yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh, that's bad.
It's
Oh, and they owe him so much money, huh?
yeah. What's the contract looking like here?
Oh, good. It's about time something went wrong for the Dodgers. I'm not hating on the Dodgers. I love good teams. I love seeing baseball being exciting, but they've been so lucky with so many contracts and so many players and being able to get out from under bad ones and the bad ones they take get good. It's just the bill comes due eventually, you know what I mean?
I mean, they could still end up having guys come up and having a crazy season, but it is nice to see the window kind of finally shutting a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. No, I mean 100%. Plus, look, if he even shows any remote ability at any point, maybe they decide to cut bait and trade him. But if you're trading for him, you're definitely not giving a full price, and you're a little wary if they're willing to give up on him. You know.
Oh, very much. Especially if he doesn't improve, who's going to take him?
Well, so I'm saying he has to have a run of success. Yeah.
Yeah, and at that point, I think you just ride with him, right?
I mean, sure, but maybe not. Who
Okay.
knows?
Yeah, I guess it depends on how the rest of that season goes.
Depends on how the season's going, who else they would use instead of him, what they need, what someone's willing to give, how well he's been doing, how much money he's owed.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's a contract where he starts hitting and you're like, we don't think it's sustainable, and if you can dump him and you can just assign someone else for the same money, would you maybe if you're that worried if you're the organization? I'm just saying there's a possibility.
I definitely wouldn't rule it out. And you know what? The Dodgers tend to be smart with that stuff. No one went to cut bait.
Isn't it the dude? Isn't Friedman still out there? The guy from Tampa Bay? Is he still running them?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
So
very
of
they're
course
very
of course they're
what are
shrewd.
they raised with money is like kind of
Right.
yeah
Yeah. Which is the horrifying thing to watch if when they're in your division.
yeah. Um, Speaking of baseball, Pujols potentially going back to St. Louis. I love it.
That'd be nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's got left in the tank, but he's
Hey man, I said it last year when they cut him. He's got enough left in the tank to be on a major league roster. He's a good pinch hitter. He runs in a ball. He has power. He's not an everyday player anymore, but and the game's changing to the point where you don't need pinch hitters as much, but there are a lot worse options, I'm sure, when you're a team that's not necessarily going to be guaranteed to compete, to give it bats to fill the seats and chase history. They'll
20,
run into some.
21 home runs away from 700.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to do it.
You got to do it. You know
Yeah,
what? You got to do it. And if he hits 19, you got to do it next year and then be like with an understanding of once you do it, it.
yeah. And I think he knows at this point. He
Oh yeah, he's
must.
hanging
He
on.
must.
Yeah.
Man. Did
That would be really cool if he breaks it at home in like August in the, pennant run. That's I love baseball, man. That would be really cool.
you have you watched any of spring training yet?
Watched a couple innings. I watched Mike King pitch yesterday and saw Giancarlo crush a home run. But that was all the
Nice.
baseball I've been able to watch so far.
Yeah,
And
this was
running
the first
around.
time I've really been able to sit down and watch, and I fell asleep in the eighth inning anyway because I was just a sleepy guy.
You wake up super early. I'm not shocked.
That's
I
true.
can't believe you stay up past like 9:15 sometimes.
It was good. I did some naps this weekend and very beneficial stuff. Um, Man,
Oh, did you end up getting those spoon tickets? Are we're good? So we're
oh
good for
yeah,
that?
no, good call on that because I was gonna ask you about this. Are you in for that still?
Oh yeah, I have it on the calendar.
Oh,
Once
sweet.
it goes in the calendar, the day's yours.
So I tried to you send me Sly sends me these wonderful Google invites whenever we get tickets to something together, and I tried to do that because I bought the spoon tickets, and I couldn't figure it out. And then I think I forgot to just text you that I even got the tickets, but I was like, all right,
Cool. I'm gonna add you to the calendar invite I have on my calendar right now.
bellissimo. Yeah,
Done.
that's gonna be cool.
April 16th, right?
It
Hammerstein.
is, yeah, Saturday the 16th.
Nice.
And if you're listening to this and you're coming to that show, buy us beers.
Yeah, it's a Saturday. Fair enough. Let's
Recognize our
rage.
voices.
Let's rage.
Yeah.
Is that the next thing you got coming up?
I think so, because that's pretty soon, right?
Yeah, I got Little
Honestly.
Feet that
Oh,
Tuesday,
when is?
April
Oh,
12th.
nice, cool.
Yeah, they're playing Waiting for Columbus in its entirety. I'm excited for that.
That's gonna be good. That's at Beacon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's where all old bands go to play so people can sit down.
I love Beacon,
Me too.
man. Um, Speaking of music, I'll give a shout out to a
Hmm.
couple albums that came out on Friday that
Oh yeah, let's do it.
I've been really digging. Let me just make sure I get the names right because I was listening in the car on the drive to the concert. So we got uh, Walter Martin's new album, The Bear, kind of a singer-songwritery, just really well done, really cool album. Great song called Baseball Diamonds that if I knew how to put music on this thing, I would end the episode with. So shouts to Walt. Walt's been great for a while. Former member of the Walkmen, who were an indie rock powerhouse.
Yeah, you love them.
And then the new Destroyer album, Labyrinthitis. I don't even know how to describe Destroyer, but if you know, you know. And I'm loving it. He's in his bag. So
Nice.
two awesome albums I've been really digging this weekend. It's been such a good year, I think, for music.
Yeah. Yep.
Good release year.
You know what I just stumbled upon? This isn't new, but I just started listening to a couple new bands over the last week.
What you got?
Uh, Not sure how to pronounce this one because it's one word. So when I look at it, I see Sloth Rust, but I
Oh,
think it's
Slow Thrust.
probably slow. Slow thrust. Yeah, I was
Slow.
gonna say it's probably slow thrust, but I see sloth rust. That's what
So
I see.
I know the name, but I don't know much about him. So you want to break him down for me?
Yeah, just latest album from 2021, Parallel Timeline. I don't really know how to describe it other than I've listened to it 3 or 4 times. I'm really into it. And I've been listening to a lot of Starfucker, and this came up as a suggestion.
Oh,
So I
cool.
would say, yeah, I guess that's all I can say about it. I just kind of space out when I listen to it. It's relaxing, but it's also got like good walking music. Good
Oh, I'm
walking
into
music.
that. I'll check that out. Yeah, I've seen the
And
name.
then the other one, the other band is Man Man. I was listening to the 2020 album, Dream Hunting in the Valley of the In-Between.
I know Man Man.
Man Man.
I don't know
Big
which
fan of
album though.
Man Man now.
They're cool. Cool little
Yeah.
band. They're kind of like freaky sounding, right?
Yeah, it's definitely off the beaten path, interesting sounds, but it's the person I know that knows of them is a huge Frank Zappa fan. So I feel like there's definitely an overlap in that type of crowd with
That
them.
makes sense. Yeah, I think I got into them because somebody compared them to Tom Waits, and I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
It's weird. It's not quite in the Captain Beefheart weird, but
No,
it's,
no, no. But it's got that kind of. It kind of sounds a little dark, a little, uh, almost like cinematic. I think
Yeah.
the album
You
I
know
heard
what?
was.
Actually, I saw the song that got me was a song called Cloud Nine, Nein, like nine. But it sounded like Neil Francis, and I thought it was Neil Francis.
Oh, cool. We love Neil
Yeah.
Francis here on Worst Fans Radio.
Love Neil
Shouts
Francis.
to Neil.
I'll go see him anytime he comes. Shouts to Neil
Definitely.
and the band. Neil and the
Yeah,
band.
Neil and the boys and the girl.
And the girl.
Oh,
And
man.
whoever else is part of the band.
So I did just double check. Yeah, Spoon is my next concert, I think. And really looking forward to that. Speaking of great albums from this year, that's a banger. Do Should we talk about Deshaun? Are you excited for
Yeah,
Deshaun? It's official
yes.
now. It was speculated last episode. It's
Of course
official
I'm
now.
excited, but of course at the same time you don't want to have to root for someone like that if he did what he did, but you're never gonna know the truth. It's
So
just
the thing that sketches me out, and I guess I'll just get
feels
this out of the way.
dirty.
No, it's the way they did the contract. But
Oh,
that's
so he only gets $1 million this year, so if he gets
yeah.
suspended, he doesn't
And
really
look,
that
but here's the thing. That's not on the Browns. That's on the league.
hmm
Um, but it does make me think like, oh, they probably think he's missing games, don't they?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. That's why they signed Brissett.
And no movement on Baker, right?
Oh, no one wants him. I mean, people want him, but they're not willing to pay his salary and give up an asset for him. No one wants him for what his cost is, let's say. Sorry.
Do you have a
Uh,
um? Do you have a take on what's gonna end up happening with that?
uh,
Too
they're
early?
probably gonna have to they're gonna get very little to nothing for him. But if, they refuse to cut him, which I wouldn't either, because then he's gonna sign somewhere
Yeah,
and you can't
you
control it.
can't you can't cut him.
Nope. But I don't know what's gonna happen. It's just a mess. It's just a huge mess for no reason, unnecessary. Apparently, they told him we're only going to replace you with an upper tier quarterback like Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, and they told him that. And then when they told him and his agent and his camp that, and apparently he still was butthurt because the rumor I read was they thought that they were going to trade. He thought, and his camp thought the Browns were going to trade for Kirk Cousins, which is why he did the stupid shit that he did. From all the rumors that I've read, which what?
Hang on,
What?
hang
The
on.
team told you.
Does that mean that Baker Mayfield thinks that Kirk Cousins is in the same class as
No,
Russell
and
and
that's what I
Deshaun?
think made him upset because he thinks he's better or the same.
Hmm.
But where did he get that idea from? This is all speculation.
So
I'm just the whole thing's stupid.
yeah, but on the bright side, the Browns are a lot better.
Yeah, the Browns are legit. I mean, depending on how many games Watson misses,
Yeah.
this is you know, should be a playoff bound team. And once you're in the playoffs, depending on, you know, health and field advantage and lucky breaks, they could be a Super Bowl contender. It's weird. It feels awesome, but it also feels really weird.
I wonder if something happens like draft day with Baker, or around the draft at least.
Yeah, I think, with how bananas this NFL offseason's been, I think it's fair to assume there'll be some crazy stuff happening at least on day one, if not. other, days prior or after. I mean, this year's been crazy. We've seen
Yeah.
two of the top three wide receivers traded, right? And then you've seen two of the top five quarterbacks traded. And there's still wide receivers out there that are, if not number ones, seemingly contender impacting wide receivers. Like you've got Landry. I mean, Beckham's hurt, but he's still out there as well. And then who's the other guy? Who's still out there? I'm having a brain fire. There was someone else, but
Didn't Beckham re-up with the Browns?
no. He
Oh
was
no.
saying he's open to it. No, no, no. I
Oh.
don't think.
Ooh.
Yeah, I
Oh.
feel like I would have seen it if he did. Maybe he did. Maybe I missed it, but I don't think so.
Okay. Maybe I just saw. I probably just saw what you saw and misinterpreted it then. So yeah, there's still a lot that's gonna happen, and it's already been so crazy.
Yep. Yep.
Damn. I'm just gonna say to just to date this episode, still 4-0 in the USA game here. I think
Nice.
I think the USA is going dancing.
It's nice. Do you think they're gonna make any noise? Are they actually gonna have a chance, fighter's chance in hell, or are they just showing up, for the attendance check mark?
Well, just for the record, as I said that, it's 5-0 now,
Boom.
so that should be good for goal differential. I don't care what the USA does. I don't particularly root for the USA. I don't really root for anybody in international soccer. But what I like is that if
Fair
the
enough.
USA is in the World Cup, I think that creates more opportunities for soccer to grow in this country, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I agree
Um,
with that. I think that should be the vibe if you really do like soccer.
the other thing is that the USA has like a young team now, and this can only be good for growth, making the World Cup. You know,
Yep.
win a
Hmm.
couple games,
Hmm.
even if you don't get out of the group, you have a nice little strong showing. I think that's respectable. And I guess the possibility is there for more. I guess I'm gonna have to see what the groups look like. But you know, Canada's probably better than them in CONCACAF right now, but it's close and it's fun. And the Canada, USA, Mexico kind of dueling rivalries have been real great to watch emerge here. Three teams on the up
Hmm.
on the continent. It's cool.
So I just opened up the old Twitter, and
Yeah.
apparently there's a tweet here from the Tom and Hawk Football Show. Don't know it, but it's verified. It's Amazon Presents show, and one of the guys on it is talking about how Baker overplayed his hand because the Browns offered him a $30 million a year contract last year, and he said no. I think I'm worth more than that. This just keeps getting worse and worse for how he played himself, huh?
It really did. He's got
Wow.
to get out of there now.
Well, I mean, if they offered him that and he said no, I can't blame them for going after someone they thought was better. And if they told him, hey, you said no, so we're going to try to get someone better, but only if they're a lot better. And then he threw a hissy fit and a temper tantrum, despite them doing what they told him they were doing, whether he thought they were doing something dumb or not. And not one bit of this looks good on him at all.
It's real
At
rough.
all.
And
And
that
I want to root for the player over the team so bad. Every ounce of my being always wants to take the player's side, but my God, he is just in the wrong in every single aspect, it seems.
it is it's funny to me, but it sucks that it ended like this. Cuz for a while there, the Browns have had kind of like the great hope young quarterbacks, and for a while there Baker looked like he could be that guy. And at the very least he didn't completely embarrass himself until this. And now it's going to end the same way
Hmm.
it always does with the Browns. And it didn't have to. It was so unnecessary this time.
Yep.
Man.
Yep. So it goes being a Browns fan. They'll find a way to ruin it somehow.
Well, we'll see. This team might be this might be the best
Well,
Browns team
you
that
know what? I can't
I've ever
even
seen.
really say it's they'll ruin it because we're talking about how they were one helmet to helmet missed call away from potentially beating Kansas City.
Yeah,
So I wasn't on them. That's just the Cleveland luck, I guess.
it just happens. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's
Uh,
just part of the storyline.
yep. Fits the narrative, I guess.
So we got
Yeah. Yeah.
what? We got about 10 more days until the regular season kicks off for baseball.
Man, since I don't play fantasy anymore, I have no concept of time when it comes to the baseball timeline.
Let me pull up the
I
Yankees
guess
schedule here.
it's also, because of the lockout, it's just all out of sorts. I mean, we'd be gearing up to start probably Thursday
It was the
or
first, yeah.
Wednesday at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna throw this out there right now.
do it.
I want to get to a Yankee game or two this year.
I'll
I
go.
think it'll be fun.
You know me.
Yeah, I do
Let's
know you.
go.
That's why I'm saying it.
I'd much rather go to City Field because it's so much easier to get there and back, but let's do it.
Well,
I'm
listen,
in.
you know I work on the 7 line now,
That's right.
so I'm probably gonna go to like 50 Mets games.
There you go. Yeah, you let me know if I'm not doing anything after work. If tickets are cheap, I'm 12 minutes from where I live. Game on.
Beautiful.
See a game, have a burr,
Oh yeah.
get a sandwich. I want to go. Oh man, did you see the John and Susan Waldman bobblehead that the Yankees are doing?
No, that's crazy though.
Oh, it's a lot. It's so much, but I want it so bad. I need to have one of these. April 3rd. No, that's the Don Mattingly documentary. Where am I here? Here we go. So it's John and Susan at a WFAN desk, and it has their names on it, and they're both bobbleheads. So it's like a table bobblehead.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
sending this to you.
Yeah,
Oh, you
please.
have to see this. Definitely have to go get that. I have the Mariano Rivera bobblehead. I don't really care for bobbleheads. I'm not really into it, but Mariano Rivera and John and Sue's, those are the two I make an
Oh, this is
exception for.
tremendous.
Isn't it? It's a great word. It's just tremendous.
That's good stuff. Yeah. Oh, what day is that?
That is Friday, August 19th against the Blue Jays.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's gonna be expensive. You're gonna have to show up early.
We'll
Hate
see.
waiting in line.
We'll see. That might be nice.
Hmm.
Yankees open against the Red Sox, huh?
Yep. It's
That's fun.
it's gonna be a emotional start from the beginning. They're gonna hit the ground running.
You know what? I think the whole season is going to be emotional. Um, the way this fan base has reacted to the moves or the lack of moves. It was getting a little dicey last year. I mean, you remember like last year, they kind of had a slow start the first couple weeks, and people were like
Hmm.
losing their minds.
Fire
Um,
Boone.
and like that's not going away, right?
Nope.
I
Nope.
think the focus right now is a little more on the front office than on Boone. But as soon as the season starts, I think that probably changes.
Again, you have to be realistic, regardless of how unrealistic the fan base is, myself included at times. The team got better. Team is better now than it was going into last season because going into last season they didn't have Gallo. Going into last season they didn't have Severino. Going into last season they didn't have Rizzo. Now they have Donaldson instead of Urshela, who offensively should be a lot better. Defensively, that's I feel a drop off, but enough to say definitively. And then the defense at shortstop with, you know, Kiner Falefa, he seems to be all glove. And if that helps the pitching staff, then you can hopefully hide his offense. You have to have somebody on the team who's not going to hit everything in sight. So the team's better. It's is it? Let's put it this way: the team is better going into this year than it was going into last year. If they had the team last year that they finished the season with all year, would they have been in a position to make the playoffs and not have to fight in a wild card game? Possibly.
Yeah,
The problem is, did the team get much better or as good as they could have? No, no, they didn't, and that's what's frustrating.
it feels
It's the Yankees, and
it feels like a missed
unfortunately,
opportunity.
yeah, yeah, it definitely feels like a missed opportunity. Unfortunately, just because of the way that the last 16, 17, 18 since 94 years have gone. I mean, in 1994, if there was no strike, the World Series very well could have been the Expos and Yankees, and
Yep.
we're talking about, there's never been a Washington Nationals. And since then the playoffs in 95 and after that, everyone knows the story. It's just fans now are the age I was when I started watching when they were one of the worst teams in baseball and have never experienced a losing season. It's mind-boggling. So I get the expectations are high. But the problem is, having never experienced the lean years, they don't understand that that's sports. Your team ain't good forever, especially when the owners just want to pocket the money.
It's funny. I feel a similar way about the Islanders right now, where kind of the fans, kind of younger than me, are losing their minds about this season. and I'm like, this is nothing. This is nothing, man. This is pretty good, actually. It's frustrating, but this is nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but getting back to
Have you ever heard of Alexei Yashin?
exactly. God, I mean, Bill Guerin was the captain of this team not that long ago. Like, not even good Bill Guerin,
Wait,
like the decaying husk of Bill Guerin.
yeah, like Tampa Bay Lightning Dale Andrechuk or Dave Andrechuk, Bill Guerin, like can barely skate, should be the last piece on the fourth line of a contender, not a captain.
Yeah,
Bringing his veteran presence to the young locker room.
man.
Yeah. How many more games are left in the NHL season? That usually ends around late April, early May, right? And the playoffs go to like freaking July.
Yeah, I think we're in like the kind of the home stretch here. I
So
know
yeah,
it's a little
maybe like
messed up
last
because
15.
of all some of the COVID postponements.
Course.
So I
You
think
see, let me look at the standings. So we've got 65-ish, 65 to 68 games played. 63
yeah,
to 68 is the range. So, well, you play 82, so you're looking at about roughly another 12 to 16 games,
Isles
17 games,
have
depending on the team.
18 left. Some teams have 14 left. Looks like yeah, between 14 and 18 games left.
Yep.
Looking around the league.
Look at the Kings in fourth place, 81 points. Oh, man.
That's a nice season.
Can't wait for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last year was one of those, if the young guys take a step forward, maybe something happens. And they were competitive for most of the year. And then they made two great free agent signings, and everyone else is doing well. And even with all the injuries, this has been a great year. I don't get to watch too many of the games, unfortunately, as you know, with the time difference. But
Yeah.
the ones I do, oh man, it's been a great year. I'm excited for the playoffs. It'll be a lot easier for me to follow the playoffs because it'll be on at normal hours.
Yeah, usually those games start a little earlier.
So
That's
I
nice.
know everyone's like, you're not a real fan if you don't follow all year. But it's hard to watch games when they start 30 minutes before I'm usually fast asleep.
Exactly. Anyone who's making real fan arguments is just insecure about their own
Oh,
nonsense, I think.
I hate the gatekeeping.
Absolutely.
Enjoy it the way you want. I don't give a shit. Just don't be
Sports
a
is for
dick. Or,
everybody.
if you're a Yankee fan, just don't wear a jersey with a name on the back. That's all
Sports
I
is
ask.
for everybody. Oh,
Anybody and everybody.
yeah.
What happened? What happened?
I don't think anything really happened.
I just heard
Um,
you say.
I was
Been a
just gonna
long
give
weekend.
I was gonna give a quick shout out before we wrap up here to
Do it.
Gotham FC and the NWSL in general. We were talking a little bit about the MLS before in a
Mhm.
potentially disparaging way, but I think the most entertaining, highest caliber of skill American Soccer League is the NWSL. The preseason tournament's going on right now. There's two teams in California now. That league is in a position to really set itself up for success.
Whoa.
You look like you're gonna say something.
Yeah. So as I said before, I'm on NHL.com.
Yeah.
I just saw the box scores. What do you think was the final score of the Penguins Red Wings today?
Ooh, talking high scoring, I guess.
We're talking outlandish.
Okay, are we talking blowout or are we talking close?
We're talking in baseball, this would be outlandish.
Ooh, I'm gonna say 9-3.
11 to 2 Pittsburgh.
11.
11 to 2 Pittsburgh.
Any hat tricks?
That's what I was just pulling up.
Yeah.
I want team stats. So Malkin, of course.
Oh,
Malkin.
wonderful
So
player.
listen to this. Boyle, Roost, Kapanen, Heinen, Bluger, Rackle, Carter, and Crosby all scored a goal. Malkin scored 3. Wait, Jeff Carter still plays? I thought he was
Yeah, Jeff
done after
Carter's still
last
there.
year.
They might have re-upped him.
Good for him. Love seeing former guys who helped my team win the cup keep going. Good for him.
Oh
I know they
man,
just traded for Rickard, Rackle.
I'm since we're talking about old hockey guys, and this is our first episode since the NHL trade deadline. I'm just
Hmm.
gonna give a shout out with tempered expectations. I'll put it that way.
Hit
To
me with it.
the Islanders re-upping Zach Parise and Cal Clutterbuck for next year, because this season has been a little bit of a disaster. I, there's no sugarcoating that, but I think the extenuating circumstances are crazy enough that running a couple of these guys back next year isn't the worst idea in the world. And locking
Okay.
them up now on team-friendly deals, I think that's a smart move.
Man, Parise's contract is finally up. That thing was. I
Parise, well, no,
mean,
Parise still gets paid by Minnesota, but he's on like the league minimum with the Islanders, essentially.
oh, because they cut him, so the
Yeah, yeah.
contract.
So
I
he's make
got it.
so
So he still
he's
gets paid, but he's not under it. Got it.
right, right.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So I think it's nice. I think
I
it's a
thought that
solid
there was
move.
a trade. Yeah, I
No,
mean,
no, they
why
cut
not
him.
bring him back if he still wants to play, especially if he's willing to take the league minimum because he's banking that contract still. Why not?
Exactly. And his dad was a legend here, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Makes sense to me.
You got anything else?
I don't think so.
A little slower
I
week. I kind of
think
dig it.
yeah, it was nice, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Give a shout out to Finback and Threes who went over to Brooklyn, went to some breweries yesterday,
I love
making delicious
threes.
beers. Love Threes, love Finback. Went also to Other Half. Oh, for the first time, finally, I made it to Hometown Barbecue and had the pastrami bacon. And
Cool.
this was worth it. My God. How did it take me this long? That stuff was off the charts. No bullshit.
Where is that place?
Unbelievable. The one we went to was by the Other Half in Gowanus, I think.
Oh,
It was
cool.
kind of like on the waterish.
Yeah.
So it was, we got there, they closed at 11. The kitchen closed at 10. I think we got there about 9:15, 9:30. And we were slim pickings, but they had the bacon, and that was the game changer. That was the draw, and it was worth it. Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
That's awesome.
Actually, I've had two of the best bacons of my life in the last week. The other one was I believe it's in Jersey, Gentle Giant Brewery or Brewing Company, one of those two. Very, very cool spot. It was Sunday, or it was a Saturday. Live music, delicious beers. Awesome. It was like the bacon was super thick and it was deep fried, but then it was like toasted or baked or something too. So it was greasy but not chewy or fatty, and everything was rendered and it was crunchy and blackened in a way, and like
That's nice.
and I don't have to explain pastrami bacon. I mean it's pastrami bacon.
That's cool.
But yeah, that's it. That's all I want to say.
No, that's
Throw
great.
out,
That's a
throw out
great
to
way to.
some New York favorites.
I think that's a great way to end. So thank you everybody for listening. We will be back, I guess,
Mhm.
later this week with an episode.
Yeah, why not?
Ep
We'll do it.
5.
We'll go. We'll let you know.
And this one's not going to be lost because shout out to our buddy Craig, the little recording hub
Yeah.
in
Shout out to
Discord.
Craig.
So we got a backup in case the Twitch doesn't want to work with us. But I think we'll be all right.
I think so too.
Yeah. Have a good one, everybody.
Good night.